Hello and welcome to episode 2 of going to every single bookstore in Austin.
In this series, I'm attempting to go to every single bookstore in my city. I live in Austin, Texas, which is known for cool independent shops and restaurants, and I know there's some really cool independent bookstores. To recap episode 1, I went to Barnes & Noble's, the Amazon Prime bookstore, Kinokuniya, Bookwoman, and Recycled Reads. So now that we've got 5 places crossed off our list, it's time to do 5 more.
I currently have 9 books in my apartment that I have not read, so should I be going book shopping again? Absolutely not, but we're doing it anyway. Also, in my last video, people were really calling me out for pronouncing Barnes & Noble, Barnes & Nobles, like plural, and I don't know why. Like, I always just thought it was Barnes & Nobles. And I don't know, am I just like dumb? Like, I swear it's like the Mandela effect or like the Berenstein Bear effect. Anyway, today we are not going to Barnes & Noble's. We are not going to Barnes & Noble, but we are going to Book People, which I've actually been to before, and so far it is my favorite bookstore in Austin, so I'm really excited to go back and also to show you guys Book People. Okay, let's get going.
I love Book People so much. It is so colorful and they have so many plants and they have a coffee shop, and just overall it's just like a really cute bookstore, which is not the most important quality in a bookstore, but it is important. And this is my favorite little corner in the shop. It's the audiobook section, and I don't know why, I just really like it. I don't really have any plans to get any audiobooks, but it's just like my favorite cute little corner. Anyway, first thing I did was run upstairs to look at their blind date with a book section. This is the YA blind date with a book section, and some I considered getting was this one, which says Lady Knights, Magic, and Romance. Next to it, it says Advice Columns, Southern Charm, and Historical Fiction. Then on this shelf, I almost got the Trans Boy Thriving and Magical Red Shoes one. I ended up getting 2, and I'll show you which ones I got when I get in the car. And then here are my thoughts in the teen section. They both died at the end, read that, thought it was okay. The Gravity of Us I thought looked interesting. It's about a boy and his dad gets selected for this really high profile NASA mission to Mars, which sounds so cool. Then I went to the adult fiction section, was considering getting Alita, also considering getting Dune. Please let me know your thoughts on Dune if you've read it. Both of these covers I thought looked so pretty and had the prettiest colors. One last stop I'm going to talk about in my January reading wrap-up video, but I thought it was okay. Also, look how the staff write reviews by the books. Like, that is so cute. I really appreciate the time they take to put into that. Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Never heard of this book before, but it said it was made into a movie, so I kind of want to read it just because of that. Ever since watching the Hating Game movie, I want to read more books that have been turned into movies because I think it's just so cool to see the book come to life on screen. I need to read more Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I also need to read some Sally Rooney because I've never read anything by her before.
I just got out of Book People and I freaking love that store. I also feel like I just want to read every single book there, which isn't the case for all bookstores, but I ended up getting 2 books, and they were 2 blind dates with a book, which I am so excited to open these. I've always wanted to do a blind date with a book. These are both in the teen section, which I hope wasn't a mistake. I hope they're not too young for me because they did say 13 and up. But I've read a few YA books and I really liked them all, so I think it should be fine. They had an adult fiction section also with blind dates with the books, but none of them seemed that interesting to me, and they also didn't have any ones with romance in the adult section, and both of these had romance. But let me read you these. Okay, the first one says Small Town with Big Problems, Witches, Sisterhood, and Romance, and the genre is mystery and murder. And then the second one is Incredible World Building, Murder Mystery, Forbidden Romance, and it is also a mystery and murder genre. So 2 mystery YA romances. I kind of hate myself for saying this, and you guys might hate me for saying this. I am not gonna open them in this video. I think I'm gonna do like a whole blind date with a book video and get like a bunch of these, so I'm gonna open these in a future video. But yeah, if any of you guys know where I can get any more blind dates with a book on Etsy or in Austin, please let me know. Okay, let's go to our next place. Just got to Black Pearl, which is a Black and women-owned bookstore. I tried to go to this bookstore in my first video in this series, but it was closed at that time, so I'm excited that now I have gone during their open hours, actually checked, and I can go.
Black Pearl is in the back of 10,000 Villages, which is actually a pretty cool fair trade shop that has ethically sourced handcrafted items. Black Pearl itself is a pretty small shop, but they really had everything from YA to coffee table books to book talk books, fiction, biographies, and even a little clearance cart. The Song of Achilles has been at the top of my TBR list for so long, but I'm waiting to get it from my library, so I resisted the urge to buy it. The Sentence I thought looked really good. It's a funny ghost story that takes place in a bookstore, but I ended up getting Out of Darkness from the YA section.
I just got out of Black Pearl, and that is like the cutest little bookstore ever. It is a very tiny store. I was talking to the lady when I was checking out, and she said they are currently in the process of moving to their own like bigger store, which is so exciting. I'm going to put their Instagram on the screen so you guys can follow them on Instagram. She said that's where all the info will be about the new store that's opening. So I'm so excited for them and to see their new store. If I do a third episode in this series, hopefully the new store will be open by then and I can go check it out. And I ended up getting Out of Darkness. I really debated between this book and The Sentence, which I hadn't heard of The Sentence before. That book is about an independent bookstore that is being haunted by their most annoying customer who died. So I thought that just sounded like very fun and cheeky, but I thought this book sounded like way better. So I'm gonna look up The Sentence and see if they have that in my library because I'm still very interested in reading that book at some point. But yeah, Out of Darkness is a YA historical fiction book, and it's about a Mexican-American teen and an African-American teen who fall in love in the 1930s in Texas. People on Goodreads said it's like very heartbreaking, very brave, intricate, brilliant, and is about love and family and segregation, and I can imagine it is going to be like a very beautiful and heartbreaking book in just about every way. But yeah, I'm very excited to read this book. Next up, we are going to the library, which I know is not a bookstore, but I have a book on hold, so I figured you guys wouldn't mind if I swing by the library and grab that book. I went to that library in my last Going to Every Bookstore in Austin video as well, and a few people told me in the comments that that library used to be a movie theater, which is why when you walk into the library, it's like one giant open room. So I think that is so freaking cool. I wish I could have seen it back in the day when it was a movie theater.
This is the big giant room that used to be the movie theater that I was talking about. I searched for so long to try and find a photo of what it used to look like inside, but could not find a photo, unfortunately. Anyway, the first thing I did was go grab my book on hold, which is Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. Then I just looked around and I thought Swing looked interesting. It's a YA book about baseball, romance, and friendships. Eleanor and Park also looked really good. And fun fact, a bunch of parents actually tried to get this book banned from schools for profanity and sexuality. There's also a bunch of Harry Potter related books that I have not read. The Cursed Child, which is actually a play, so it's in script format, and then a few smaller ones I've heard of but have not read, and I'm a big Harry Potter fan, so I'd love to come back and pick these up at some point.
I just got out of the library. I just like looked around for like 20 minutes and it was so nice. I found way more books than I thought that seemed super interesting to me. I have so many books to read right now, so it was hard, but I restrained myself from checking out more books, and I need to add those to my Goodreads TBR so I can go back and get those later. But I ended up getting The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, which is the first self-help book I'll be reading ever in I think my whole life. I saw Haley Pham like really talk this book up and really recommended it, so that's why I ended up reserving it and getting it. Yep, just looked it up on Goodreads, and Haley Pham's review on Goodreads says, most life-changing book ever, and that is her whole review. That feels pretty convincing to read it. Honestly, like the summary sounds like a pretty typical self-help book of just like eliminating hurry and like living a good life in this chaotic modern world, but it has such good reviews even outside of Haley Pham's reviews. It has 4.53 stars on Goodreads. I'm not entirely sure what all it is about besides eliminating our need for hurriness. Is that a word? But ever since graduating college, I feel like I've been so busy between having a full-time job, having friends, doing like adult things like running errands and stuff, trying to grow my YouTube channel, but I feel like this is going to be very fitting for how I'm currently feeling. Next up, we are going to Half Price Books, which I know I've been to a Half Price Books at some point in my life, but I don't think I've been to Half Price Books since I got back into reading in August. So I'm excited and intrigued to go there. I just got to Half Price Books, and there's also a Goodwill in this parking lot, so I think I'm going to go to Half Price Books and Goodwill.
We're going to Half Price Books first, and first I checked out the bestseller section. You'll Be the Death of Me I really want to read because I have loved the 2 books I've read so far by Karen M. McManus. Weather Girl is Rachel Lynn Solomon's newest book. I was mixed on her other popular book, X Talk, so I think I'm going to try and get Weather Girl for my library, but it sounds really cute. Six of Crows, a fantasy book I have heard so much about. Then I went to the mystery section. The Sanatorium looked very cool, but it got a bit of mixed reviews on Goodreads. Then I went to the romance and to the fiction section. Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. I actually got at Goodwill a few months ago. The X-Hex sounds so cute. It involves a witch, romance, and a literal hex on her ex. Me Before You, don't know much about this book, but I can remember hearing very good things about the movie, so I might get this one. They also had a ton of Nora Roberts, and then they had a rare book section, which was very cool. Now on to Goodwill. My Goodwill has a way bigger book section than I remembered. I Owe You one looked like a cute romance involving a lot of IOUs, just like the title says, but it did get a bit of mixed reviews on Goodreads. They also had a Star Wars cookbook that looked so fun, and I low-key should have gotten it. I have regrets. Then I saw that they had a ton of Nancy Drew and some Hardy Boys books. The nostalgia. I was a big Nancy Drew girl. I also briefly looked in the home section, and these are some things I did consider getting.
So I just got out of Half Price Books and Goodwill, and I bought 4 books. Someone help me, someone take my wallet away from me. This is not okay. But Half Price Books, Goodwill, inexpensive books, so I don't feel too guilty. In Goodwill, they had a whole Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys section. I got Nancy Drew, Super Mystery number 3. It also says this book is a movie, which I'm not surprised because I remember watching the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew TV series as a kid, and then there's tons of Nancy Drew movies. It does say that the book is meant for ages 8 to 12. But I was like big into Nancy Drew as a kid, so I feel like I will love this at least for the nostalgia. Then also from Goodwill, you guys, the throwbacks. I got Pretty Little Liars. I'm a little sad that it is the TV show cover and not the original cover, because the original books, all the covers were dolls, which I think is like very cool. It looks like a very quick, fun read, and obviously I've seen the TV show and loved it, so I feel like I can't not love reading the book. Then from Half Price Books, I got Me Before You, which I've heard of the movie so much, and I've yet to see the movie, so I was really excited when I saw this because now I can read the book and then watch the movie. I really don't know much about this book besides that I believe that he was recently paralyzed and she's taking care of them and they like form a bond, and it was only $5, so yeah. Then, I feel like a lot of people are going to be excited about me getting this book. I got 6 of Crows. I also know absolutely nothing about this book besides that I've heard it talked about so much on Book Talk. I know that it's fantasy, and that is it. And I kind of want to go into this just knowing absolutely nothing, especially since I really don't read fantasy much at all, and I want to like broaden past just romance books. So I feel like this will be a great one to do that with. I did look it up on Goodreads when I was in the store, and okay, first of all, it is so cool. Like, people from YouTube are starting to follow me on Goodreads or friend me on Goodreads, and I'll add you back as my friend. And so it's cool whenever I look up books, I see like all of you guys who have friended me on Goodreads ratings and reviews. So it's like really cool. I'm like read through all of y'all's reviews on books, and I feel like if you watch my videos, we probably have like very similar tastes in books, so I like really trust y'all's reviews and ratings on Goodreads of books. But yeah, when I was looking up 6 of Crows on Goodreads, first of all, it is 4.47 stars, which is so high, and then so many of you guys that I'm friends with on Goodreads gave it 5 stars, so very excited about this one. I just got back to my apartment. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I don't know how many more episodes of this series I can do. I know I can do at least 1 more episode because I know for a fact there are some bookstores I still have not been to in Austin. So yeah, let me guys know if you want to see a part 3. To recap, I got 7 books today. I cannot believe I got that many books. Actually, I can because I got 7 books in my last video going to every bookstore in Austin, so this series is single-handedly growing my book collection. All right, I'll see you guys next week.